lot of work planning this event, and I hope I'm audible enough. So I'll go straight to this. So I'm a licensed educator, instructional design, media strategist, and educational technology evangelist, like some people call it, a trainer sent to educators. Currently on my PhD in the field of educational technology in prestigious University of Ibadan. So that's currently I like doing this each time I'm holding a training, so we'll be able to guide ourselves appropriately. Why are you here? You are here made from the highest decision-making personnel of the school. You allocate resources when needed. You are here because you are a decision maker. And why are we all here? To understand basic trends of learning with technology. We want to effect change and growth in learners. We want to invite principles in technological integration and appropriate experts to seek for help when need be. So these are the reasons why we at EDTalk Tech, we try to organize trainings to be able to carry our learners along, to be able to carry industry personnel along, school owners, and decision makers, key decision makers in the school system and outside the school system. So straight from there, we're going straight into the event. Some of the things we're going to look into this evening has to do with welcome address and introduction, which I've done that. And we look at Google Forms, we look at Google Forms activity, and then we look at Google Sites, single web page setup. We look at Google Cloud storage usage. We'll also look at Google as a collaborative tool, and we'll take questions. This workshop is supposed to run for 1 hour, which I'll try as much as possible to keep to time. So what exactly is Google Drive? It's technically speaking, Google Drive is a simple cloud-based storage. It's a cloud-based storage. And what do you mean by cloud-based storage? You try to imagine your PC, your computer, or your phone with different access to applications. You have access to My File. You have access to text message, that is for the phone. You have access to settings. You have access to pictures, videos. From your smartphone, you have access to all of this. And from your laptop, you have My Documents, you have MS Word, you have Google Spreadsheets, you have your MS Spreadsheet rather, you have your PowerPoint, you have all of this. But Google Drive in itself has been able to integrate some of these, a whole lot of these features so that you can decide to go to a place without having to carry a whole bucket load of laptops and flash drives that might get lost at any point in time. So with Google Drive, to be able to carry on with some of the things you have, all you just need is an email address. With just a Gmail address, you have access to the whole wide world of all your documents and everything that you need to have access to. So what are the things that you expect when it comes to the educational client? One of the things you look at in Google Drive, you have concepts such as docs, you have slides, you have sheets, you have drives, you have forms, you have Jamboard, you have Keep, you have calendar, you have tags, you have the admin dashboard. You look at communication flexibility, that's where you have your Gmail, You have your Meet, which is compared to that is alternative to Zoom, which is Google Meet. Then you have Google Chats as well. Hangouts is not stated here. So some of all these things, it's then if you look at this slide that we have, you discover we have a kind of let me use my look at this here. If you look at this circle here that I just created, you discover that everything is surrounding a particular app that I've not mentioned, which is Google Classroom and assignments. These are key things that Google had embedded into its technology to be able to make education accessible online. So with just Google Classroom and assignments, you have all these features integrated with Google Classroom and assignment being the chief of it all. That means inside Google Classroom, you can have your Gmail integrated, you can have your Google Meets, you can have a chat feature, you can have the calendar where after you have set something like an assignment, your learners, because they are connected to this technology, they can easily get notifications, they can easily get reminders on their Google Calendar, on their phone, a whole lot of things that Google had put in place to be able to make learning accessible. But we would not pick all these things one after the other. We can't look at these entire features, but there are specific things that educators need to get to know. You can actually run a learning management system at a zero cost, just with a Google Drive. I've started this research long ago. I'm not done with it yet because there are a whole lot of things to really get into when it comes to the usage of Google Drive and being able to utilize it within the educational client. So from there, okay, we are not coming to this. I'll just end this show and go straight into my browser. So I would undock this and drop my yeah. So I'll come back to this page. So I want to start off a fresh page with this. The first thing you do, I've not used this particular email before, so I just wanted everything to start up fresh, but I was trying to do some trials, which are some of the things you see from my Google Drive here. Let's assume I go to my email. Let's assume I'm just logging into my email. That's why I said from the onset that the first thing you encounter when you come to the Google Workspace is your email. From your email, you have access to a whole lot that that has to do with Google Drive. Look at this notification here. Look at this notification here. So if you look at this notification here, if you tap there, you see lots of informations. You see lots of information. These are all the integrated apps. You have account, you have search, you have maps, you have YouTube. Yeah, Google acquired YouTube, and it's a whole lot. It's a whole lot. So you look at Meet, you have Gmail, you have chats, you have contact, you have Drive, calendar, you have Translate, you have photos, you have Duo. Duo is also a video application as well. So the application goes just beyond this. So from here, we can access our Google Drive. You can either access your Google Drive from this point or just come to your browser, and type Google Google Drive. And from there, it takes you straight up to Google Drive. And all you just need to do is just scroll down and my drive. So it brings you here. So, but from where we just started from, so one of the first things we want to look at straight up is Google Forms. Always notice this, take note of this new icon here. It leads you to all other Google apps that you might want to have access to, or you can access it from this point. You have Google Forms, you have all your options, but I prefer to go through these checks here. So if you look at the options we have file upload, we have folder upload, you have Google, you have Google Forms. So let's assume we want to check, click on Google Forms here. You see blank, you have blank please, you have from template. So Google has made available some specific templates that you can actually use. But because of time, I'll just quickly run through the templates and still come back to this point. If you look under your Google templates, you have blank, you can start from scratch, you can start contact, you have RSVP. These are all the templates that you can actually utilize, edit to exactly what you want to do. Perhaps if you are an expert in using some of all these tools, you can go on just like myself and pick blank to always do this from scratch. So a lot of people use Google Forms to get information online. They use it to carry out survey for researchers, and some people use it to sample opinions in terms of about marketing research and the likes. So, but in education, we've come to the point where we've been able to identify these tools, and Google has been able to integrate something in the Google Forms and that makes it possible for educators to be able to send in multiple choice questions to their learners, and learners will be able to use this feature. So if you look at what we have here, you have title, you can title this to whatever thing you want. Let's assume this is Google Drive, sample. So you can describe what the form, you can describe what the form is all about. You can describe this form is for this one. So if you have your system, I'll advise that you look at this step by step, the way I'm doing it. Don't forget, we came all the way from Google Drive. We click this new icon here, and that icon took us straight into Forms. By clicking just this, it takes us straight to Google Forms. So if you look at what we have here, let's assume we want to ask a question here. What's a question? Do you have skills? That's one. What should be the answer? Is either a yes or no. And if you look at the options here, Google, through its AI integrated system, has been able to be able to interpret questions and possible answers that should be asked even before you even come to that point. So since these are the options that I'm looking out for, do you have text? So I don't have to type this anymore. So I just click a yes. Once I click, I can click a no. And if perhaps I'll be needing the maybe, I'll just add that to it. So, and the options you have here are very enormous. The type of response you want to have, you can have a response with a multiple choice. You can have with just a checkbox. That means multiple answers. You want to get multiple answers from your respondents. You want a drop down kind of this thing. We'll try that out. And you want your respondent to upload a file, which most recruiters use when it comes to getting informations from employees, and they want them to upload their CVs. They want them to be able to add maybe their photos, their passports, or they want them to be able to put in some of their certificates and the like. So that's why you have the option of file upload. And you look at linear scale. You want to scale between 5 to 10. You want to scale between 1 to 5, 5 to 10, 10 to 20. That's where you use some of this linear scale. So you have multiple choice grid. Multiple choice grid here gives us options to say, okay, do you have that skill? Yes. Option no. Let's say kind of yes and no. So I'm rushing through this because of time. If you have this, let's assume you want to preview. Look at this this I notification here. The I notification here gives you option to be able to preview some of the things you're doing. Let's see what we've typed. So you look at this, it's like, okay, this. So what we're saying that, okay, based on this criteria, I know, okay, let's review that. You can edit this real time. So let's say under rows, you have positive, and under column you have, under row you have positive. Yeah. Positive and negative. So if you come here, just refresh the page. Once you refresh the page, you see what we've been able to do. So you say positive. Okay, I want this yes or no to be yes or no to be. So come here and refresh the page. So this is what we have. Negative. Okay. So you can have this. So just kind of negative. So you can come to this point and say, okay, one, yes, no, maybe. So first this page, look at, you see what we've done. So if this is the kind of responses you're expecting, so some of the things that Google have been able to put in place. So as educators, some of the questions that are likely to be used in terms of using Google Forms most likely are checkboxes where you can tell your student to check to tick all that applies. Then you have multiple choice. Then you have the linear. You have the multiple choice grid, which we showed, and at the same time you have the tick box grid, which is a replicate of the checkbox, while this other multiple choice grid is a replicate of this in multiple forms. So let's just go straight into making, a test script, So let's come to settings. So it doesn't matter if you notice when we came in through the Google Drive and we click forms, it gave us options of blank quiz. You don't necessarily need to go through this point. So, but the moment you find yourself in the Google Forms checks, all you just need to do is just to come to your settings, and check this here. Assign points. Once you make this a quiz, just click this. Automatically, your forms become a quiz. So, as simple as this looks, as simple as it looks right now, I've charged over 30,000 naira per question on this. I've charged over 30,000 naira per question on this during the lockdown, just for a school to use Google Drive. As simple as it is. And it's as simple as it is right now, it's one of the most powerful tools that educators can take advantage of. And if you look at this, we already have our forms here. So there are some key things that you need to put in place. Which one is missed questions? Respondent can see which questions were answered incorrectly. That is up to you if you want your respondent to see the incorrect questions that they have checked. But most times examiners want to uncheck this because you don't want your respondent to know that they've missed a particular question until when they've seen the total, until when they've answered all the questions. Sometimes questions look alike, so that you don't get to predict in the process of writing some of these tests. So you look at correct answers. Respondent can see correct answers after grades are released. It's up to you. If you want to check this, then respondent can see total points and points received for each questions. Yes, for instructional designers, some of the times we want our learners to be able to know that they are gaining points. It's one way or the other motivate them to want to learn more and try more questions. So we allow this check most of the time when we design courses. So you look at the fourth question point. So you want to assign some certain point per question. Maybe you want to say 5 points per questions, or let's say 10 questions, 10 points per questions. And you have another settings here that you should take note of. Collect emails. That is, if you want respondent to get instant feedback on these exams that they have written, send respondent a copy of their response. The reason why I'm taking my time to do this is that by the time we get to Google Sites, we'll be able to use this form we are creating now. That's why I'm taking my time to create this form, because we will need a complete form that has been designed, which we're going to go through. So send respondent a copy of their responses. You can put this when requested always, because you want respondent to have a feedback. Allow respondent editing. You don't want to check this because it's an exam. So you don't want your learner to, you don't want learners to be able to review some of all this. So limited to one response. Yes, you don't want to check this because you don't want learners to do duplicate write the exam all over again. So it's help your, it's some way, one way or the other, untidy your workflow. So presentation, manage how the form and responses are presented. So you can do this, show progress bar, shuffle questions. Yes, I like to shuffle my questions as well. I like to shuffle my questions. Confirmation message, your respondent. Yes, you want to give your respondent a confirmation message. You want them to know some instructions. You want to give them some thumbs up for trying. You want to encourage them for attempting some of these show link to submit another response. We since in an exam, you have to check this so that um, respondent won't have to do this. Only on most times, except if you have two learners that are in the same locations and you know they are dependent on just one smart device and you want to help them to be able to catch up with whatever thing you've done. So that's when you have to put this on check. So view result summary, share result summary with respondents. So we want learners to be able to know how far they've been able to perform. We want them to see the entire things they've answered and everything. We want them to see where they've wronged, where they've. So sometimes we encourage learners so that whatever materials they might have consumed over time or whatever materials they've been engaged with, they want to know where they've wronged, they want to know where they've made one error or the other and be able to correct. So sometimes they are motivated to go over the test process again. So disable autosave for all respondents. So you don't want to do this. If you do this, sometimes at midpoint, your learners might not be able to get back to their exams. So respondents lose their progress if their browser is closed or refreshed. So this is a red flag. You don't want such to happen in the process of attempting some of your test scores. So form default settings apply to this form and new forms. So whatever settings you do, you want that to be in the future. You want to come back to this. You don't want to go through these processes again. So you can check this, and settings apply to all new questions. So make questions required by default. So what this button here is saying is that if you don't answer any question, you won't be able to submit. If you don't answer any question, you won't be able to submit. That's the danger of it. So if your learners, it means that for every question, whether you know it or not, you have to make an attempt, which in a way, that's how we encourage learners to not just leave questions unanswered. So you want them to be able to do one thing or the other. So at this point, I'll pause and see if we have any question at this point before we go and get back into the forms. And before we leave the settings and checks, right now, Google Form it's an exam test or a test script. So if you have questions, just wow, I'm just getting information that some people can't hear me. Are we still having that problem? Are we still having that problem?
No, sir.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much for the response. Okay. Thanks a lot. So if we have any question, if you have any question, please let me know and I will go over anything that needs to be clarified. Thank you, Mr. Francis. Okay. So I'll come back to the questions. So I'll copy this, which is your Control-C. I'll copy this and you don't really need to copy. Just click and Google already made that the so what I'll do here is I'll change this question format since that's not a question format I want. So I'll come back to multiple choice. So do you have skill? So we use the word yes, no. Okay. So you can you can duplicate just by clicking this link here, this duplicate button here. You can delete this question. Then another important thing you need to check out is what exactly, okay, because we are setting it, there is what we call answer keys. In educational technology, we call them limits. So, and then let's say, do you have, do you know, okay, let's set a proper question. Is Google Drive, is Google Drive a cloud storage? So said yes or no. So we'll come to the answer key here. The answer key here, once you click your answer key, you notice something. It gives us either a yes or no. So when you click a yes, that means that is the answer. And you can assign points. Let's assign 10 points here, just like we mentioned the other time. So the reason why we have this is that you might want to reinforce different grade points per question. So the Google Drive is cloud storage, of course. So that's why we have a yes here. So, and remember what I said about having feedback. You want to give your learners some feedback about their performance level. So you come to a point where you say, okay, add a feedback here. You now type for incorrect answer. So for your incorrect answer, you can say, please, you have made an effort, but your answer is not. So, you know, in education, we don't try to sound negative or demoralize our learners. So for incorrect answer, you say you have made an effort, but your answer is not correct. So you come to correct answer, you say, wow. So you might want to copy this. I have to write that over and over again. I have to set up. So I didn't save that. Wow, okay. You tried. So once we have that in check, so we just say save. Then and there's another thing that you need to take note of here. Before we leave, that's for correct answer, for incorrect answer. And go back to edit. If you notice, perhaps for incorrect answer, you can put a link to a test to display. Perhaps maybe you have your learning materials stored somewhere, and you want to import it for learners to be able to review, for learners to be able to review the material so that they can try again. You know, you have options to allow them to review their questions. I think in training programs where there is no wrong or right answer, so you have that being implemented into any question and answer. So most times you have them reviewing, okay, you can go back, look at the material, then come back to give answers to this. So you can add a link, you can even connect a YouTube, you can connect a YouTube video for your learners to be able to watch and see, get back on track so that they can answer the right questions. So that settles it. This is to tell you how Google have been able to look at learning programs and put the test materials. And it's really something that when schools are able to utilize, they will be able to um, run learning management system at no cost. At no cost. In fact, this goes as far as you being able to send certificates on automated plan, that when you integrate all your systems, you'll be able to send certificates to these people without you clicking a button. Everything automated. No one will tell you. I've not seen this anywhere on YouTube. I'm just telling you the true fact. I've not seen this anywhere on YouTube, and it's there. A lot of people don't know about it. They don't know about it. You can't see that, or you have checked. I've not seen it. So we are good with this. We don't want to go as far as using this checking. So we say save. So let's say done. So let's add one more question to this. Let's let's see what we'll use here. Let's use a drop down. A drop down is Google Drive. Is Google Drive a cloud storage with tests picture? There is a yes or is a no? Maybe seems so. So when we come to this point, you noticed our previous listing. So we can, because, okay, let me say the number one is still checked as the right answer, but you can check that as well. So it's the right answer. So the same rule applies here as well. So we'll just say done. And it's also a 10 points. So remember I talked about required. You can do that and ensure. So your learners will not be able to submit until when they've attempted. So then you have sessions. You can break, okay, let me bring that here. You can break your Google Forms, and when you do this, this is first section, this is section 1, this is section 2. So you know some of your test materials that you use, you have session 1, you have session 2. So you can decide to put this in check. Section 1, you can say test features. Even your surveys too, a good number of surveys normally have sessions. In fact, you can do it to the point where you say, if if respondents say no, you now jump to session 3. The person might not be able to encounter where it's okay, are you a male or a female? So you have different survey design. You say survey for male and survey to female. So if respondents have filled some by what's it called, the demographic data from onset, then you now get to your session 2. Now say, are you a male or you are a female? So Google give you the opportunity to say, okay, if If this person is a male, if this person is a male, if this person is a male, jump over to section 3. If this person is female, jump over to section 4. So some of these options, we have some of these functions. So if you look at this point we've gotten to, so let's say we now have, but one of the things you need to take into cognizance is that you don't necessarily need to leave your Google Fonts like this. Google made it so possible for you to be able to change colors. You can change colors. You can add images. Let's say, okay, since it's school related, we choose this inserts. So you have something like this. Then you talk of background colors. You can decide to leave the background color to white. That's the header. Then you can look at the font style. The font style you want to use. Since it's a serious and formal, so you can choose whatever thing you want to use from there. So, and we're good, but it doesn't end here. It doesn't end here. There are some certain options that you need to put. Who should have access to this form? You notice some people say, I've put it in my Google Drive. I've sent it to you. They send files to someone via email and the person doesn't have access to it. Then Google now start asking you questions like, then you receive, the person who sent you the form will now say that you should request access. You should request access. So some of these things you need to know. By clicking send, you set whatever standard you want to make available to the person who is going to have access to this. So, and this brings us to a point where we talked about using Google Tools as a form of collaboration. You want to collaborate with other users. That means you have access to this form. Someone in Germany has access to this form. Someone in Ukraine has access to this form. Someone in Abuja has access to this form. And you guys will have to work together. So some of what I'm saying here is you can use the word include email, but it doesn't end there. So you can come to a link and say shorten link. When you shorten the link, you need to tell us so you have the subject. So who are you sending this form to? So when you copy this, you send it, because there is a check I was trying to check out for, but because this is an exam, there is a place where Google tells you, okay, let me come back here. Okay, collaborators. If you want to add collaborators here, that's what I was supposed to click. So what you do for collaborators is that you come to this here. Editors can change permission and share. Views and commenters can see the options to download, print, and copy. So what you're adding, if you're adding a collaborator to your Google Forms, you're telling the person, please edit my questions, please edit my survey forms. And this is applicable to your Google Forms, is applicable to your Google Docs, is applicable to your Google Slides, is applicable to your Google, whatever thing you're sharing with a third party from your Google Drive. You need to always come to that setting and check this so that they can have access to it without you receiving, so that you don't receive an email that states that you should give people maybe a third party permission to have access to this. So you set it to, you can use an email to put a restriction and say this person alone has access and can edit whatever thing. You can make the person a viewer, But we don't have that option here because we said we needed a collaborator for this. So I've made my second email a collaborator, which means with this, I can have access to this using my second email. So if I add your email to it, you too will have access to this. Maybe by the end of this, I will take consensus of people who stay to the end and copy some of these I've done and add your email so that you can have access to, you can use the template, you can make it yours, you can make a copy of this and the likes. So once I send this to myself, it goes. So somebody else can have access to this and edit it later on. So, and there are other ways. Let's now have a view of this. Remember, we viewed it somewhere around here. So I can refresh this page. So this is the final listing of the form. So if I put in my email, I can search this and say, okay, it's telling me this is required. Let's say, so that's done. Let's say there is is Google Drive a cloud? If I said no, obviously I know the answer. So I can say next. So it brings me to the next question. And is Google Drive a cloud storage? Remember, I used a drop down option. So I can choose yes. So you will see what we have there. So if I say submit, so your response has been recorded. So if you notice what we did the other time, I can say see previous responses. That check is not supposed to be there. It's like telling a particular exam taker to see what other exam takers had chosen. That is after they had submitted. So, for an exam, we shouldn't have that. So I have to go back to my settings and start putting that and make sure that I check that response. So if you notice, this total points is 10 points and it's already showing me that, correct answer, yes, you tried, but your answer is incorrect. So, oh, wow, you are a star. Your answer is correct. So you see, when you have some of all these in your exams, you see that the learners will be able to interact with your content. So from here, I think we're done with this. We can now use this as a sample, but I won't go back to this because it will take more of our time. So I'm coming back to our Google Drive. This is what we did. So I'm coming back to Google Drive to check one other thing. So remember I talked about Google Docs. Google Docs is like saying Microsoft Word. So Google Docs is like saying Microsoft Word. So, but what one of the unique thing about Google Docs is that you can have multiple people write on the document, and once you that created that document, you can come there and say, oh, they write it, oh, Francis edited this document. Maybe you have someone that is named Joke on your team. It tells you, oh, Joke edited this document. So you see everywhere. Even you can use things like comments and put checks. You can color it. You can do a whole lot of things. Let me see if I can import a document. Let me see if I can import a document. The future. Okay. My document is coming on. Then another way you can do this is you can upload your MS Word. your Microsoft Word documents. Once you upload them, and you can access them through your um, Google Cloud, access them through your Google, it automatically becomes a Google document. It automatically becomes a Google document. So this is a document I came up with some time ago when so the shift of education, blah, blah, blah. So let's assume that this is a document we want to use. So if perhaps I come to, okay, I've not even uploaded, sorry. Let me copy. I want to copy and upload. So I'll come back to, I forgot I wasn't sharing that screen. So I want to paste. Okay, so we have a document right now. So it's really amazing. If you're working with, if you're working on the cloud, you're able to edit your work real time. You have integrated spelling corrections. You have integrated, like me, I have Grammarly installed. If I don't do this, even Google will call my attention to some of all these things. My grammar, my combination of text and everything. So let's imagine I want somebody else to have access to this document. So one of the things, if you look at this share button here, it's locked. It means that this document is private to me. So the only way I make this document accessible is by clicking this. So some other persons can have access to this. Okay, sorry, I've not named this. That can be announced too long. So let's say so I click here. So come to this page, you have options of copying this link. But do we have a comment?
Yes.
Okay.
Can you just do us a favor? I've been listening to your lecture all this while. Thank you very much for coming online. And thank you for all the points that you've made so far. Please, I'm the Director of ICT, Federal College of Education, Technical, Omo. My name is Dr. Stella Wibo. If you check on the platform, you will see my name also. Please, can I request for something? And what I want to request for is that your teaching is very awesome. But what I want is that, can you send the soft copy to each and every one of us? Send it to the platform and we will download it. Thank you very much. Hello.
Okay.
Are
Please,
we still together?
Can you send me? Can you send me? Can you send me?
It's hanging.
Okay, please, you have my email.
Just send it to the. I don't have. Okay, send me your mail. Can I send my own email?
You can use the mail we used during registration.
The same email that you used for registration.
Yeah.
Yes, I register.
So you should use the mail. Get my email.
Okay, fine. Yes, but can you send it? And I hope everybody on the platform,
don't worry, you will
have your mail.
You will get the video. You will get the video after the. You will get a video to be able to watch this over and over again.
God bless you. Even apart from the video, please can you send us a soft copy of your software? Just do us a favor. A soft copy can be very better for us. Okay, my brother. Thank you very much. Please, I enjoy your lecture.
Please.
God bless you. Oh. You can continue. Thank you.
We'll look into that. Thank you very much.
Oh, God bless you. Continue. I enjoy it. I'm sitting here right here. I'm enjoying your lecture. God bless you. Thank you.
So from where we start, yes, from where we start. So from where we start. So if you look at this get link, so if you look at what we have, the only way you make this document a collaborative tool is by checking out this change to anyone with a link. You don't want to do that because your document might be confidential. So most times we advise people who want to collaborate with writers. Researchers use this tool a lot. So if you want to collaborate, you get emails and use email to connect to some of your learners, some of your collaborators. So once you're able to get that, you use that to share your documents across board. But you don't want to use something like anyone who has the link. But once you use email, there is a restriction on anyone that has the email, anyone who has the link cannot just connect if that email is not connected to your Google Drive. So that puts a kind of security on your document because your document might be confidential. So that's it about this when it comes to documents. So let's assume editors can change permissions and share views and this. So once you just add an email, so I'm going to add myself a second time. So, and let's say I have another email. So as another one. So if I say, so there are other options you have. You can only want them, maybe you just want them to view the document and make a comment. You want them to comment on something, you can give. That means, in your Google, in your Microsoft Word, there's what we call comments. You want people to be able to comment, but they won't be able to edit your document. So you can lock it. So if you want them to just comment on the document, you use this check here. You want them to just view it and maybe give you a phone call on that. That's all. But you want them to be able to edit and add their own contents to it. So you use the editor check and you send that. So that makes your document accessible by anyone on the cloud. So if perhaps I come to my second email and access this document, I edit it, Google will put it there when I come back to my second email to tell me that, okay, this person edited this document. I would indulge you to try this at home or try this on your own.
Where is the interruption coming from?
So I think, okay. I've muted all participants. I've muted all participants. So please drop a message if you have anything to tell me. I'll pick that from here. So thank you very much. So we're going to leave this document and come to the third thing that we have. We've handled Google Sheet, Google Forms. We've handled. Please, I want you so that we'll be able to do Google Sheets. I will send you this. Okay. Let's say response. Okay. Okay. I'll forward this to the group. Yeah. Let me do send and copy link. Copy. Okay. So please check the chats and just respond to that while you follow so that we'll have at least 3 to 4 responses. So I'll go back to my Google Drive as we pick on another two. So we are going straight up to Google Sites. Google Site. I'll still come back to Google Cloud Storage. So just like we've been doing, we come back to our new. Look at the options here. So you come to more. So when you come to more, you see a drop down, a drop down folder. So if you look at that, we have Google Sites here. Once you click on that, our Google Sites open up. So our Google Sites open up. So this is exactly what your Google Sites look like. This is exactly what your Google Sites look like. So you have, what do we name this? Let's call this Google Class. So that becomes our website name. So you have back, we have back, you have undo. You can view as, you can do view. Maybe you want to view a smartphone, you want to view. So you want to know what your website looks like when you are trying to view it, when you are designing. You want to know what it looks like on a smartphone. You want to know what it looks like on a tab. And at the same time, you want to know what it looks like on a PC when you're looking at it on a laptop or on a desktop. So that's what we have this. That's why we have this button here. And don't forget our share link. That's a sign for sharing. You can use this to add other people to be able to edit this particular folder. If you notice, across some of the tools that we've looked at, all the settings almost correspond. The buttons all look alike. So if you click here, you are adding a collaborator to your designing of the website. So that's exactly what that button looks like. Remember, we've talked about it, so we don't have to go over that again. So then your settings as well. These settings, it comes in process of design. So we'll still come back to interact with this. Let me check my time. Let me know how many minutes I still have. Oh, it's past 1 hour. So let's see how we can quickly rush through this. We're supposed to ought to have been done by now. Too many things to look at actually. So I will be very fast about this. So designing website, you come to pages. Most of the people who do coding, this is how they go about it. So this is where we design a landing page on website. So you come to pages. So this becomes our home page. So we say, welcome to class. So you highlight, the same rules apply, you highlight it, and you can use colors. Let's use this. You can make it clickable, you can expand it, you can put it like this. You can increase the size, you can decide the fonts, you can look at the style, use a heading, the subheading, that tells how big it looks. So then you can decide clear formatting, strike through, you know what it is. You can decide it to go dent by to the left, dent to the right. Then you can decide how many double spacings and the like. You can customize that. A whole lot of things here that has to do with text. So we don't have to go through all these test checks. So I will just be doing them because I've showed you once already. So you can actually make this welcome to class clickable. So we'll come back to that when we have a page to direct it to. So I want this to be capital letter. Welcome to class. So just by attaching a link to it that makes it clickable. So this is our home page. So let's assume we want to design this. So You can come here, click this here. This is the header type. So you can have a banner, you can have a large image. Notice on website that looks this way. You can have just it as a title page. You can have it as a cover page. That means from here it leads to somewhere else. So it becomes a front page. So this is what we are using. We are using, can have a small banner. I think I'm comfortable with this. So then secondly, you can add images. You can add images. So you can have your own customized image that you want to put there. You can have that. So to be able to do that, I'll come back to, I think I want to come to Canva. So I use Canva a lot. It's what I use for my designs, just minor designs that don't need too much of the tech related designs. That's just simple designs. So I use Canva to do that. So I have designs that I've done previously. Let me come back to home. So if I come here, I want to pick something here. So let's say, so I use Canva to design a poster for this event. So I use Canva to design that. So I want to quickly download this page. It's not as a page one. I think I have that done. I'm not able to come back here again. So I'll come back to our site. So I want to change this image. I can come to upload. That becomes, this is what we get eventually. So because of the background, I have to change what we have here. So I come to, you come to Teams, you'll be able to edit that. You can use the planets, choose color. So if you notice what I'm doing, it's I want this to stretch out, so it fills up the page. And I can decide which text color to put here. I hope I'm still on point. So, and I want this to be outstanding. Still contrasting.
You can also drag it down away from the face.
Yeah, I can. Yes, I can. If you notice, there's a dot. There's a dot here. It gives you opportunity to be able to drag. So it gives you opportunity to be able to drag. But because of time, let's leave that alone and continue. So this is the front page that we have. So I'll come back to my page. So there is something unique about this page. So I can come here and say new page. About us. Another page, contacts. So there's something I want to show you that is very unique. If you noticed some of the things we are clicking, if you notice, this is highlighted because this is the current page we are. If you come back to the home page will be highlighted. So that's the thing we are currently using. So there is something I want you to see here. I want to add something to the home page. Let's come to under learning content. You can do, let's open another page again. Let's open another page called Google Photos. Google Photos. So, but we don't want this Google Photo to be part of our header. So what we just do, we just come to these three dots here, click on it and say hide from navigation. So it disappears. It disappears. You don't see it. You don't see it because we will make decision on that later. So under learning content, we want to create more pages. We want to create more pages. So we have what we call add sub pages. You can decide the properties, you can duplicate it, you can set this as a home page, but you want to set up some under learning. We want to have Google Docs. So then at the same time, you can drag and drop. You can drag and drop. You can actually drag this and make it part of this, but we don't want to do that. Okay, let's say, okay, Google Sheets. So we've mistakenly created Google Sheets. Okay, so once we leave there, let's say we create Google Forms. So once you create that, you know we created that as a page. So, but we need to make it a sub page. So we drag it and bring it into this. So automatically it lines up with this. So what that does to us is that if you come to this place, you see it as a drop down. So it opens as a drop down. So, but it leads us. So it's not part of the home page button. It's here. So it comes as a drop down, and let's review what we've done so far. So let's review what we've done so far. So you see, this is our website. So homepage, learning, contact, about us. And look at this, you have a drop down. So you can click this and it takes us to wherever we're heading to. So let's go back to that. So on smartphone, this is what it looks like. This is what it looks like. This is so where we are heading to now is how do you utilize this in education? The way you utilize this in education as a learning management system is that let's assume you have a document you have prepared, you have a video you have prepared. I'm going to import a video right away. We'll come to inserts. So you come to inserts. You have a lot of inserting templates here. Let's assume we want to use something like this. So we say upload a video. So I'll come back to this. This is from my computer. So materials. So I think I had a video. Okay, I clicked I clicked image settings. So usually we call these placeholders, but let me delete this and come back to this point. Okay, sorry about that. Google Drive didn't give us the option. So, but one thing we have is that you have to upload your video to YouTube, then you give us the YouTube link. So I have a video on YouTube that in one of our trainings that we had in previous time. So what we want to do, we want to search for so this is the video. So let's assume this is video. We organize this video, this training for instructional designers. So let's assume you want your learners to have access to this video. So you can add a description. You can design this, decide how it looks. So let's bring in a text box. We can put it above. And put it above. After saying this, response to question below. Please respond to questions below. So you know we've imported a video. So you remember we said we're making it a learning management system. So we've imported a video. So we'll come to the point of the tests that we organized then. The test we organized then, you come back to this place, come back to forms. So when you click forms, because so these are all the forms that we have created for this class. So we can come to this place and click insert. So you drag and expand. So we already have this. So our form is already added today. After the video, the learner can do this. Then you can even import PDFs, you can import PDF files, you can import MS Word, you can make that, some of that. Then you can add a button. You can add, there is what we call button. You can say sign up. Another thing you want to do, you don't want to send your learners away, sign up. Then you have link, you can link this to any of the pages. So remember we have a Google form. Okay. Let me come back. You remember we created a page that we said should be hidden. So let's call this sign up form. Sign up form. So if this is a sign up form, let's assume we want to import. Let's assume we want to import a form here. So let me look for a form that I don't know if we used this. Okay. I've already created that before. So if we do this, so let's just like we did the other time. So this is it. So if you remember this do not exist. According to this web page, we are not going to be seeing this page anywhere. So what I will now do to link up to this is that we come to other. Here, remember, yeah, the next thing we want to do. Sorry, I'm rushing. We've been able to create our forms. We've been able to insert our tests. So actually, we're supposed to design just a web page. We have designed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have designed 4 web pages, so we've not populated them with contents. So Let's now come back to settings here. So this is what makes this a complete website. So navigation, you can select what kind of navigation you want. You can do side navigation, you can do top navigation. That means where you want your home buttons to be. Okay, if you look at, we've been using top navigation. So let's look at what the side navigation looks like. So let's go back to our home page. Pages, let's go back to our home page. So this is it. You see website that have this, so you have to click your drop down. So you see all this. So if you click this, it gives you the drop down. So this is what your side now. I prefer the top navigation here, makes it look better. So I'll come back to this setting. I'll click top navigation. So you notice our website is transparent. We can decide to make it white. We can decide to make it black, but I think I prefer the white. I prefer the white. So brand, yes, you talk about logos, you talk about Fabi icon. Fabi icon is, let me see if you can see my browser. Okay, you can see my browser. Look at all the icons here. All the icons you have here. These icons here, these are Fabi icon. These are Fabi icon. It means the icon that most people will see after when they interact on their homepage and everything. So these are Fabi icons of different web pages that I've opened. So I can decide to, but most times Google don't allow these icons to be active because you are not using your own domain name and the likes. So for a logo, you can, let me choose this as a logo. So let me use this as a logo. It comes in as a logo. So for Fabi icon, I can pick the same thing. And so that is settled. So we'll come to tools, viewer tools, show page, last update time, blah, blah, blah. Yes, we want that to be external data page. We want people who are having access to our website to know that we are updating our pages, our websites on a regular basis. So then you come to costume. If you have your own domain name, you can do that. If you don't, I think Google has a way of getting you a domain name that you have to keep paying. If you're using premium of these packages, you'll be able to do anything with it. So I hope we've responded to our form so that we can do Google Sheets after this. Then we'll call it a day. So if you click start up, Google will give you, that means you already have a domain name. And let's say, so say it's not valid. Because I don't have a domain name I want to show on this tutorial, but this feature allows you to use your own unique domain name. Maybe my name is Emmanuel Lawani. I can put Emmanuel Lawani if I've already made that a domain name. So we can cancel that. But let's say that gives you access to custom-made domain names. So if you are using Google Analytics, that's way too far from what we are doing. You want to measure how people interact with your website. You want to measure where they are coming from, in case you're selling a product or you're selling an online courses, and you want people to be able to know, you want to know how most of your clients or your learners, where they come from and what insights what insights their buying decisions and the likes. So you come to announcement banner. So this is where we want to put as I said, we'll come back to this. This is where we want to put a sign up button that we created. This one here that we created here, we want it to be there. So most times a lot of people come to your website and you want to get their database, they are seeing information that are valid. So what you just do is then we have our announcement. do enjoy your learning with us at Google Class. Do enjoy your learning at Google Class. So button label, let's say sign up. There are either ways we could have done this, which was the other way I wanted to do it before, but I wanted us to go to settings so that we'll look at other things. And so the link, notice when you click a link while designing, you see it gives you options to all your pages. It gives you options to all your pages. So you say all we have. So you say sign up forms. So once you say sign up form, you can decide to open this in a new page. You can decide to open this in a new page. Then you can decide to open this in a new page. Then there is something I want. I don't like opening some of the things that make a lot of people run away from websites is because they have to open multiple pages before they can access what they want. But you want to disallow that, so you say all pages. So you just stay on the all pages. So this information will be on all of your pages. This information will be on all of your pages, and this two will be on. But you don't want to check this because you don't want to have multiple pages being open when people are interacting with your page. So you leave it that way and don't close. So see the information we have here. Do enjoy your learning with us at Google Class. Sign up. So once you click this, it brings us back. So we're on the home page here. We're on the home page. But one thing I want to check is when we come to learning content. So imagine we come back here. So I know I'm going to have this issue because I have multiple emails signed up here. But so I'll be having issues. I'll have to give access to that. So let me come back to so I have to open that again. So automatically Google saves most of what we've done so far. So once I do it, it brings me back to website we're working with. Remember, we've not published our website yet. It's not looking too good. It looks a bit messy. So you come to let's preview and see what we have. This is what we have. Our home page, learning contents, so Google Forms, Google Docs, Google Sheets. So let's come back to so we have this under our Google Sheets. So once you click, the video plays automatically. So what Google was trying to do is to ensure that you don't have to overload the Google Drive storage system because you want to upload a video. So they allow for images. If you can design your learning content to be on this thing. So these are just some of the trainings that we've done in the past, and it's so you can easily access this video online and check out. Please do go to subscribe to our YouTube channel. So this is how far we can go on Google website. So from here, once you're done with the website, you can come to publish. And by publishing, remember, we'll give our website a name. Since we are not using a costume, domain name. You just do the word Google class. I don't know. This might not be accepted here because it's a generic name only open to Google class trial. So Google still did not allow that, forbidden. So they reserve some of the name that has a prefix of Google. So let's say drive class. Okay, Google. So let's go Google. That's drive class. So I think that should be. This is great. That's already taken. So let's say so, great. So you can view my site. Anyone can manage that and decide who can actually view that. So links vary. You know, that's restriction. No restrictions. Anyone with a link. So always make sure you check that. Anyone on the internet with a link, it's no. We don't want to. We don't want to. We don't want to. We don't want to make that applicable. We don't want anyone going around editing our website. So anyone on the internet can find and open. So this is what we want. We want this public and say done. So then what else? Request public search engine. We don't want to check this. We want our website to be seen everywhere. So we just say publish. So with what I've done so far, if you have this link, you can easily access this site online and review. So let's say link. Copy. Publish that already. Okay. So you can preview. So we can view the published websites. This is what our sites look like. This is what it looks like. It's not good, not for the design. I have some designs I've done in the past. Very good ones. So this is just for store homepage. So come back here. So let's go back to our Google Drive. So from here, Google Drive gives you the access. So you have your courses designed on the website. Then you have all your Google Forms, maybe as a test item. You have it integrated. You can even publish your what's it called? You can even give put an embedded link, maybe from somewhere that is a bit key. You can put image carousel. Maybe you want the image to just be in tone. You want to collage groups. You want to take in table of contents. It gives you list of everything you have designed from the beginning. You have all the placeholders. Then your calendar. Yes, we need to talk about your calendar as well. What your calendar does, if you integrate that to your website, is everything you have integrated in this course. You have put dates on different things. Google automatically integrates that into your calendar. So anyone who has access to this website, maybe any of your learners, maybe you're using it in a class settings, they will definitely be able to put checks on their own calendar. It automatically update them that there are things to be done. This is if you don't want to go through the Google Class kind of thing and everything, but Google Class, Google assignment, you don't want to go through all those hassles of. So with Google websites, you are good to go. Just a single page, you can make all these moves. You can design your own portfolio, you can design a personal website for yourself and use your name as the domain name, which is one of the things I'm going to look into. So, let's go back to our Google Drive and come back to our phone. So from here, we're coming back to our forms. Remember we talked about Google Sheets. And what Google Sheet does is that it collates responses of what have been done over time. So if you come to responses, you see about four people from the on here on the this thing you're able to connect. So it means we had four respondents and so you see emails. So if we had added name to this, you see by name, social person, this person's name had 20. So maybe Janet had 20, Olake had 20, this had 20. So you have scores of all your learners being integrated into the system, and you look at frequencies, percentage of performance by questions, by cues and different things, and even the dates they were able to take some of these classes. So you can't just leave it here as a raw file. This is just for your own peruse and different things. So if you now want to have this as a document being checked, look at this green button here. This green button here says create a spreadsheet. Once you click that button, it gives you access to this. Select existing spreadsheet. That is, you want to integrate it to an existing spreadsheet. But because we don't have any spreadsheet, we want to create a new one. Just click create. So once you click create, automatically we have all the names of our dates and time, email. Let's say, assuming we have a name there, the number of scores each person had, all over 20. Then we have their responses, some of the things they responded to. So this is just Google Sheets in a way. So, you know, if you know how to use Excel, you know how to use Excel right from time. So you look at some of these buttons there, they all look familiar. You know where to use extensions, you know where to format your text and everything. You want to format figures, data, you want to do all this. So this is what exactly Google Sheets look like. So don't forget we talked about the share buttons. If you noticed, because by the time we started this program, I shared the initial Google Forms with my second email. That's why you're seeing that this document is shared with one person. If you look at it there, so it's already telling me that this document, so Google updates all this in time. So that's all about Google Sheets. So let's get back to our Google Drive. Now look at it, our Google Drive is not organized. So we are now going into, we've talked about collaborative tools already. So we now want to talk about Google Cloud Storage. Now remember I said your Google Cloud Storage has every feature your computer has in a way. So what you do here in order to be able to keep your Google Space workspace organized is that you come back to new, you have folder. So you can create folder. You say maybe this one is Google Class, Google Classes, create. So remember we have forms. So you can say my Google Forms. Remember I'm creating folders. So I can create another one and say folder. What else? Let's say CV CV. You can create another one, say my photos. You have larger cloud storage, you can add your videos to it, but it's not advisable because from the free access, you have just 15 gigabytes access. So videos. So let's say right here, our Google website, you go into, you drag. Okay, that's it. So from here, my Google class, so you drag. Once you drag it, you drop it there, it goes into the Google class. Right now, we don't have a video. This is something I was trying to work on. Still another kind of website I was trying to work on, so I can add it into my Google classes. So right now, I don't have photos, Google Forms. My Google Forms, did I create? Okay, I have for Google Forms. I have for Google Forms. Then Google Forms. This is for Google Forms. So if you don't have capacity to drag, perhaps maybe for those using their phones, for people using their phones, you can equally click on that. And you can check activities on the document to check what you've been doing. For smartphones, there are options that you would see. The three buttons and the likes always come to some of all this. But for some phones that are just smartphones, so you have to press on that particular one. Once you press it down, it gives you option. Some Samsung phone does that. So it's almost like using your right click to get options. So you can have what we call, you can rename these documents, you can style them in order to get them easy access to them. You can move it to a particular location where exactly these are the folders we opened. So it's a form. So we want to put it in a folder. We want to put it inside a Google Forms. Yeah, and say move. So, but the easiest way to do this is by dragging and dropping it somewhere. So then we have our Google Docs, but we don't have a folder for it. So to say Google Docs, create, and create another one, Google Sheets. So can do this. Google Sheets goes in. Google Sheet goes in here via Google Docs. So you look at this now. We have an organized workspace. So anytime I get here, I can decide on what to do. So at the same time, you can drag from your computer and drop in any of this folder. You can come to this place and say upload. You can upload the entire folder. You can upload the document. You can upload the file. So this leads me to my computer. So this leads me to my computer. So I can decide to bring in a photo. So look at it here. It's loading. So once it's get to this point, so it's already in my, you see it here. So remember I created one for photos. So I put it there. So I have organized space. So what we have up here are just recently opened documents. Google will always show you some of the things you're working on that you just finished clicking on. And so this option we have here, it's like having an extension of your laptop or your device and Google Drive. So if you have this, my computer, so Google link up, it's like you have to download a Google Drive on your laptop or on your device or anything. So it helps synchronize all your documents. While you are working offline, while you're working online, Google is making those folder. Google is making it available offline, so you can easily access that if you don't have internet. So once you don't have internet, you can access some of these documents offline. And when you're working on it, when you're done and you get back online, Google automatically updates your online document. As long as there is something different from where you left off while you were online, Google quickly check that file to be sure that, okay, there has been an update. Google automatically updates it online. So, and you can equally take a whole document and share it with someone. You can take a whole document and share it. You can share it and decide on what you want to do with it. You can change colors. You can make that red. You get a link. So, and if you want to send emails, let's assume you want to send emails, you can easily link your email to Google Drive. Let's say we want to write new emails. So let's say I want to send email here. You notice this link here. So once I click this, it can link me back to my Google Drive. And oh no, sorry, that's for link. This is the icon for Google Drive. Look at the icon, very tiny here. That is for converting a text into a link. So you add a link to it from the back end. So it links me back to my Google Drive, and I can decide to share the entire folder. I can decide. So I'm not uploading anything to my email. I'm not getting bogged up with filling up the little 15 gig drive space that Google has given me on the cloud. So what I'm just doing is I just link the document that is already existent in my cloud space. I just click it and say insert. So automatically, anyone I'm sending this email to, you just click this and have access to it. So, but don't forget that I mentioned something about restrictions. I mentioned something about restrictions that when you're sending a document, ensure that you have checked that the restrictions have been removed. If I'm going to be sharing this, I have to be sure that I've removed the restrictions. So always remember about restrictions. Always remember about restrictions. So we come to settings, editor can change permission and share. So automatically these documents do not need my express permission for a third party to view it. As long as I've sent to that person, only that email can have access to it. Change to anyone with this link. I don't want to do this because I have confidential documents to do. Well, this is how far we can go today. And for the few minutes left, I'll take questions if there is any. So thank you very much for staying all to the end. We have used about 1 hour 53 minutes so far. So, any questions? You can unmute yourself. Ask questions. If in the absence of none, I would like to call it a day, but you can see.
Oh, good evening.
Good evening.
My question is this Google Drive, the website.
Yes.
Are you with me?
Yes, I'm with you. Okay.
So we don't need to have any hosting plan.
You don't need a hosting plan when you're using Google Drive.
Okay, it's free.
Yes. Okay. I'm with you.
So we can use it for, like, it doesn't have a limitation like a year or months that we have to keep on renewing or updating.
It's all for free.
Okay,
It's
it's all.
all free, yes. As long as you're not using a custom domain. The only time you have to pay for anything, it doesn't have any limitation. It's yes, currently it's for life.
All right. So thank you
So,
so
but the
much.
only time you have to pay money is, remember when we designed the Google website, we talked about using a custom domain. So custom domain, you have to just buy the domain name and put it on a hosting plan and add it to what you have there. Like I don't want to use Google site.lawan Emmanuel. So if I don't
Okay.
want to use Google site.lawan Emmanuel, I want to just use lawanemmanuel.com and I want to host it on Google Drive. So that is when I have to keep paying for my domain name, but I don't have to pay for the hosting on the Google Drive network. So
All
that's just
right.
the way it runs.
Thank you so much. Because currently my school have a website and we paid for hosting. So I was thinking of trying to do something like this also. So meaning we are going to have two websites online.
So what I would advise you, what I would
Yeah.
advise you is talk to your teachers.
Okay.
Yeah, it's possible. It's possible. Especially with this, you will have your teachers to be able to edit, they will be able to change content at will. They don't have to go through the hassle of the technical know-how of hosting a website on a WordPress technology and the likes. So with just Google Drive and email, you're good to go. So even I always advise teachers to have a personal website that states what they do, what they love to do. They can always update it, add pages of activities they have with their learners, form part of their learning and everything. Just put it. One day you don't know, someone might ask, "What do you do?" Oh, when you are excited about what you do, you just share the link. Check it. You see my activities, how my day what my day actually looks like on daily basis in school and different things like that. So it's time for teachers to actually have a portfolio of what they do and let people see the fun part of teaching and the likes. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much.
Do we have any more questions?
So please, are we going to still have the copy of the of this?
I will send out a link to the recorded video. Send that link
Okay.
to the recorded videos and
All right.
that. This class is we don't have, okay, the only thing I have is just the PowerPoint I use, but I will look for something that will guide you on this and put it in a PDF and send to you.
All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So definitely for everyone who have registered, they definitely get this materials. Yeah. Thank you for coming. I'm so glad you were able to make it. This
I
is
want
okay.
I want
Okay.
to thank you for a very good job you have done. This issue, in fact, the presentation is better understood when we go practical and
Yes, sir.
also begin to touch those things by ourselves. Some of us who have been into a lot of CBT exams, I really see that you have actually done a good job, particularly in terms of explaining about the assessment, questions and all that. But it will be better understood if everybody tries to make it practical from where you have stopped. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I so much appreciate. I would advise you go try your hands on different types of questions that they have there. You have, just like we mentioned, you have the grid multiples, you have the drop down, you have the multiple choice, you have the short answer, you have the long answer, a whole lot of that. So, in the absence of no more questions, I'll stop sharing my screen here. Thank you very much. God bless you and have a wonderful evening.